biggest storylines of the league. What are the Browns going to do at quarterback? They got Joe Flacco. I expect him to be well positioned in that hierarchy, that pecking order that they set up early in camp. But then you have the two rookies. I'm told Shedeur Sanders acquitted himself well in OTAs and minicamp. He was throwing with aggressiveness. He was testing the defense. But he was also going against mostly third-team defenses, not a lot of pass rush, seven-man defense. Like, he's got a long ways to go. So really, any conversation with the Browns' quarterback future should involve 2026, where they have 2 first-round picks and a loaded quarterback draft.
With the exception of the joyful ending for the defense, Shedeur Sanders has transformed the Browns' training camp into a movie thriller. Mid-whistle, the coaches froze. Veterans appeared to have seen a ghost. And a playbook caught fire somewhere. Shedeur has done what? Only use a nuke laser that seemed more Hollywood than Ohio to destroy the defense. There was no drill here. It wasn't really noteworthy. This was pure mayhem. Live and without a script. Cleveland received more than a quarterback. They made the news. Get ready for what just transpired at camp. It is the subject of fanful legend.
One of the two look better to you in what they were asked to do than the other?
In just throwing the ball, it's not close. Shedeur Sanders.
It's not close.
But let me couch that by saying this is rookie minicamp.
Sure.
No pads, no full speed competition. Nobody coming to knock your head off.
It's telling. They're side by side, and they're not asked to do much, but they're both asked to do the same thing, and that one of them looked discernibly better than the other. I didn't know that we would get that out of this minicamp.
We're standing here, Jay. They're on the field. They break the huddle from team stretch, and they go both pick up the ball and throw it. It's no question.
The veterans are barely surviving. Even though Joe Flacco's arm is still functional, it would be like comparing an iPhone Pro Max to a flip phone to watch him toss spirals next to Shedeur. Yes, it does work with a little labor, a little luck, and perhaps some heavenly help. Can he choose it too? He is putting his all into it. You name it. Grind, grind, grind. However, you can practically see Pickett scouring the field or looking for the simplest way to pretend to be injured or traded. When Shedeur comes out and zips across body dime like he has cheat codes.
Shedeur's a great kid, and whether it's a following that he's earned, I mean, that's something that he's done a great job of interacting with fans. But he is a great, great kid. You guys will get to know him more. He's working like crazy, just like all the guys. You know, my office is downstairs. As they got to walk by my office as they come in. They come in early. And Shedeur, just like all those guys, he's in there early. He's getting his work done. So he's working really, really hard. I like everything there is special.
The Browns may call this a quarterback competition, but for everyone who isn't called Shedeur, it appears to be more of a career planning crash course. Joe's legacy is being polished. Kenny is searching for QB-friendly leagues on Google. Dylan. Gabriel is also relieved that no one has yet to invite him out for coffee. This camp was deemed light by the front management. Drink Gatorade, run drills, and toss a couple of balls. Rather, they acquired Shedeur Sanders, transforming Berea into the Hunger Games of the NFL. He's not attempting to live, though. While the others are merely attempting to avoid being voted off the depth chart, he is here to dominate.
Browns vets kind of weigh in on Shedeur Sanders and how he's been since he arrived in Cleveland, in Pound Town. And I think it's very, very important that we discuss it, because it'd be really easy for these vets to, you know, this wasn't like a on-the-record interviews. This is just kind of back channels into what the vets are saying, the rumors, but the sources telling us. And we have a couple quotes, but Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns, it seems like it's going well. And you don't even, it's almost like you don't want to talk about it. Don't say that out loud. You're gonna
never say that aloud. It makes a statement with only one throw. After 2 throws, a problem arises. By the third, a group of assistant coaches is gathered together and conducting a silent search. Can a Super Bowl MVP be benched in the middle of training? Just a whispered rumor on the field. That Shedeur spiral was so accurate that it gave DB a fleeting taste of his Pop Warner heyday. That was the extent of the surgery. The clipboards were held more tightly. The dogs began to howl. The sky truly became brighter. And as if they had just witnessed football magic, astonished Browns supporters behind the barrier dropped their nachos.
Shedeur is kind of a unique quarterback because obviously his dad is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And he's come into the NFL with a little bit of a celebrity status that we don't typically see in quarterbacks. Does that present, do you have to evaluate him in a different sense?
Like I mentioned before, he's been raised the right way. He's got a great way about him. Obviously, when you're the son of a Hall of Famer, there's a lot that goes with that. I think the benefits of that have been really impressive for him. I think you see a young man that understands what comes with this job, understands the work that goes into this job. So I'd say it's been a...
The coaching staff comes next. When someone attempts to act cool, they say something like, "Oh yeah, we expected that." Yes, no. The holy crap position remains fixed on the head coach's eyebrows. One of the assistants attempted to write something on his clipboard, but his hand was trembling so violently that it appeared to be abstract art. They are most likely debating behind closed doors whether to install a separate shed-only package or speed up the QB one time frame. Something dangerous, something exotic, or something that is only slightly against the law in 14 states. What they just saw was a warning to the league because it wasn't a practice. Shedeur then performs a Houdini mid-skinny to further aggravate the situation for the others. Chaos breaks out when the blitz arrives and the pocket falls. He takes a step forward, turns to the left, and throws a dart into the rear corner, landing. The defense crumbles in a spectacular Broadway style. Flags are flung in surrender, not as punishment. Joe Flacco returns to the sidelines and begins to rub his shoulder. Pickett chews his gum a bit too forcefully. Additionally, Gabriel is muttering affirmations as if he were ensnared in an inspirational podcast. After practice, the coaching staff had a private meeting. They mutter, "Just raw talent," as though uttering it out may call up the ghost of the quarterback's past. Once a gentleman's club of experienced etiquette, the quarterback room is now a live Survivor episode. The tribal council is still pending.
Feels like Shedeur paid a very clear price for the way they handled it, the misevaluation of where they were at, the pre-draft stuff. We get to hear like a good story from all of it. Whatever that price is, a 5th round pick today feels like an excessive price.
Yes, I totally agree. But at the end of the day, he's in the National Football League.
Yeah.
He's a Cleveland Brown. Yes, he may be 4th on the depth chart. Yes, he got drafted after Dylan Gabriel. I promise you this. He'll get every opportunity to beat out Gabriel. Right. I can also promise you this. If he goes in with the right attitude and it takes the chip on his shoulder, pick 144, and attacks his process, he's going to beat out Dylan Gabriel because he's just better.
Even the injured but observant Deshaun Watson raises an eyebrow. He has been viewing movies with the child, mentoring him, and offering him advice. Now that the apprentice has discovered the cheat codes and opened the hidden chamber, even he is somewhat alarmed. Oh, and do you recall that minor speeding incident? 2 of them, one at a hot 101 and the other at 88. Usually, that entails a serious warning and a sit-down meeting with the coach. However, in Shedeur's case, people are making jokes about how he was just getting ready to outrun the media when he got the job. Not to mention that the Browns weren't even expected to require a quarterback. They possessed one. They've got one. They have 2 veterans as well. Then came Shedeur, who may have been picked a little low. According to some unnamed team sources, yes, the water is also somewhat damp. The million-dollar question is the result of all of this. When training camp officially begins, what happens? Because they continue to act as though this is an open competition at this time. They're saying everything correctly. All of our guys are liked. Everybody has an equal opportunity. It all comes down to who gives us the best chance of winning. Interpretation. We weren't prepared to be so impressed by the kid from the 5th round, who appeared to be a highlight reel.
Every time that he's been asked to step up, he's delivered.
Looking at these numbers, right, and it seems like it's each day we look at it, it's like Shedeur and Flacco are getting the least amount of reps, and the other 2 guys are getting the most reps. What does that say to you, Duke?
Shedeur handling his business. You don't take what I always say. You don't take all day to do nothing.
So basically, you're saying that they want to see more from the two guys that's getting the most reps, and they're a little bit, I would say, more confident or sure about the two guys that are getting the least.
The league as a whole is beginning to take note. You don't believe the Ravens, Bengals, or Steelers are sneaking around Cleveland with an extra Sharpie and checking their schedules, because you won't be up against a novice if Shedeur begins. With a rocket arm and nothing to lose, you're up against a ticking hype bomb. Oh, the supporters are already on board. Backflips are happening on social media. Shedeur's footage from camp appears to have been manipulated by Hollywood in every way. Confetti graphics, slow-motion tosses, and cinematic music. It's Notafilm from a training camp. The trailer is for the Avengers. It's not just fans either. Analysts' mouths are frothing. Play the newbie, the odds are even. Veterans reach a plateau. Rookies develop. Waiting won't help, so give the child the exercises right away. The question is now when, not if, he takes control. And how much popcorn ought to be served. However, we must avoid getting ahead of ourselves. The issue of preseason games still exists. Those charming little displays where you're expected to manage expectations and assess skill. It is humorous given that Shedeur's expectations are currently circling Jupiter. Cleveland supporters will anoint him quarterback with a golden robe and marching band if he completes one touchdown drive in the first game. If he throws another in game 2, someone will name their child Shedeur Jr. Pickett may already be requesting a trade in game 3.
Well, you don't play football all the time. You're a human being the rest of the time. And how you're going to be in the locker room, how he already came up with this line of merchandise, legendary, like he's already calling himself legendary. All those things are problems. Right now, he's working check to check, man. Like, he's not going to get a big signing bonus. There's not going to be a big guarantee. Any day they want to get rid of him in the week, they can get rid of him.
Don't we think Shedeur is smart enough to know he's not at Jackson State and he's not at Colorado?
No.
You don't think so?
I listened to too many of his answers. I saw too many of the outtakes. I saw too many times he was working out with other players, and he said things that I thought were highly questionable.
Flaco, poor guy. He is a champion, a veteran, and a steady hand. But in the era of fiber optics, he is also the human counterpart of dial-up internet. Although you honor the past, you are not attempting to use it to watch Netflix. Gabrielle, the good young lady. Great clipboard holder. Solid future for wearing a headset. Then there's the change in energy. The vibe of the entire locker room has changed. Shedeur is being embraced by the youth as if he were their class president. He is beginning to get that look of wonder and existential fear from the vets. Oh no, we just got Brady, didn't we? It is comparable to the scene in every sports film where the rookie scores the game-winning goal and the seasoned veteran simply nods, wipes away a tear, and retires. The credits haven't even begun to roll yet, though. We're not claiming that Shedeur has been hired yet. That would be unjust, premature, and completely wrong. In other words, clipboards would be hiding in the locker room right now if they had a fear reflex. Now, the Browns organization is in that strange stage when they use water bottles and public pronouncements to try to put out a blaze. One coach silently watches Shedeur's DVD repeatedly, as if it were The Godfather, and murmurs something about judging all talent equally. Every time he launches a spiral, you could almost hear the soundtrack swell.
Shedeur Sanders has been cooking at the Browns' first week of OTA practices. Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round pick for the Cleveland Browns after surprisingly falling in the NFL draft out of the first round. When it comes to the quarterback competition in the depth chart, Shedeur Sanders comes in last in the quarterback room. Kenny Pickett was the first-team quarterback. Dillon Gabriel, the other rookie quarterback who the team took with the 3rd-round pick, was the 2nd-string quarterback. Joe Flacco was the 3rd, and Shedeur Sanders was 4th. But that did not stop Shedeur Sanders from showcasing what he could do at these OTA.
And it's clear now that the organization didn't anticipate this. They anticipated a redshirt season, a pleasant little developmental arc, and possibly some trash time in the 4th quarter. On day 2, the rookie rewrites the entire show after refusing to read the script which is an NFL-level narrative surprise. Meetings in the front office are now master classes in denial. Some executives continue to act as though Flacco has 10 years left to live. After Shedeur leads the offense on a 96-yard scoring drive with 4 audibles, 3 distinct cadences, and a wink to the defensive coordinator in Week 3 of the preseason, some are wondering if Pickett will suddenly step up. There is panic, but it's the elegant sort, where everyone is dressed in khakis and holding briefcases that are about to explode while acting composed. In the back, someone is printing out Pro Bowl ballots. Deion Sanders is being contacted by someone else who wants to know what his youngster eats at breakfast. Additionally, don't assume that the drama ends on the practice field. The locker room has evolved into a full-fledged tale. The energy is divided. Shedeur is already being referred to by half the team as QB1, as if it were his official moniker. The other half, well, they just want to avoid being featured in the background of his next viral video and becoming memes.
The things that they told me that Shedeur Sanders lacked: poise, resolve, maturity, necessary to lead an NFL franchise. His response to all the disappointment is standing tall, and instead of hiding, he's in Cleveland doing his thing, strengthens his reputation to people who are already supporting him, and it's exactly why people are resonating with him. You know what's funny about the people that are arguing and calling him cocky and saying that they hate what he's doing? These so-called Americans, isn't Shedeur Sanders representing what you love? You want the government to stay out of your business. You want to say what you want to say and do what you want to do and keep your guns. Being openly defiant and free. Isn't Shedeur exemplifying all of that?
The defense is perplexed too. According to reports, one DB questioned the coaching staff about whether it was still acceptable to tackle Shedeur in practice or if he needed PR's approval first. Another simply wants to know how to ask to be traded to the special team squad so that you aren't caught on camera getting burned. Speaking of cameras, media organizations are swarming around wearing Armani suits like vultures. Every shadow thrown is shared more quickly than breaking news. Already, headlines are being prepared. Rookie assumes control. A quarterback dispute is developing in Cleveland. Flacco picked it up. Gabriel against that individual just made a touchdown throw without looking. The buffet is the only reason we're here, and it's wonderful chaos. However, let's discuss the leadership, which truly rocked the coaching staff. Of course, many men throw a football because they are talented. Shedeur, however, directs rather than merely tosses. Like a general with a cannon for a right arm, he walks around the huddle. You can tell the other players are paying attention because they don't want to miss the magic when it happens again, not because they have to. As if he were deciphering the Matrix, he's out there pointing at coverages. Linemen are getting nicknames from him. Before the snap, he tells receivers where the ball is going and then delivers it there. A Linebacker talks trash. 2 plays later, Shedeur threw a 30-yard dime into the breadbasket of the receivers while he was covering the vacant grass.
Shedeur is 6'2", historically accurate, and I have seen him standing around normal-sized people. He's big. He's a big 6'2". Mahomes is 6'1.5". Aaron Rodgers, you never think about his size. He's 6'1", big calves, big wrists. 6'3", Matt Stafford. 6'4", Jared Goff. 6'6", Joe Flacco. Eli was 6'5". Peyton was 6'5.5" or whatever he was. Dylan Gabriel is noticeably smaller and thinner than Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is not ideal size in the NFL. He is a very, very small guy. Shedeur Sanders, he's much bigger and much...
And he shrugs, learns, and moves on when things don't work out. Only future Super Bowl MVPs and middle children who get away with anything exhibit such terrifying, serene confidence. There's no finger pointing or helmet slamming. At the same time, each news conference becomes more bizarre. The head coach is acting like he's on a game show while he dodges inquiries. What is it that Shedeur contributes? Oh, I'm not sure. Just having exceptional football intelligence, arm power, composure, pocket presence, extraordinary accuracy, and a demeanor that makes teammates want top block until they faint. But open competition, of course. Let's discuss the preseason. The quarterback turnover is expected to be gradual as week 1 approaches, but if Shedeur even appears capable and manages to get a single frozen rope past the defense of the second squad, it's game over. In the most courteous football-obsessed manner imaginable, Cleveland will riot, tearing picket jerseys and orange helmets. Assume that Shedeur leads 2 scoring drives and receives the second team reps in week 2. The coaching staff of the Browns will now convene another meeting without concern as someone surreptitiously purchases personalized QB1 apparel on Etsy. Joe Flacco might not even make it to the final cuts if Shedeur is on the field with the starting team by week 3 and performs poorly compared to his practice sessions without someone verifying his ARP status.
No, there was no pads. No, there was none of that. But one of the things I thought that Shedeur did was he had to overdo it. Shedeur has to overwin. Shedeur has to not only win these battles, he has to do it in a way where he's above reproach. I think he did it in 3 ways. I think he acclimated himself well with his teammates. You see taking pictures, you see people already throwing the rollie up in the picture, right? I thought he did a great job.
On a scooter, the momentum is genuine and approaching like a tsunami. The most absurd aspect of it all is that Shedeur continues to be viewed as the underdog. The man has a rocket strapped to his shoulder, NFL DNA in his blood, and a media army. Recording everything he does, people are still acting as if he needs to prove himself out here. He has already practiced on camera 10 times against defenders who now fabricate cramps to get out of coverage duties. Additionally, redefining the Browns' identity is more important than simply landing the position. The Browns have been in quarterback purgatory for years, going through more quarterbacks than most people can remember when they changed their Wi-Fi passwords. And now that this 22-year-old is out there acting like the football gods have finally given them a refund, you have to ask yourself if they really dare to allow this to happen. Will they put the brilliant risk that could lead to greatness ahead of the safe options? Or are they going to recoil, ride the previous wave, and hope that Shedeur doesn't burn them with each snap he doesn't take? Because initiating him too early is the worst-case scenario. His momentum is being wasted by making him carry clipboards as Flacco throws hospital balls to uninsured guys and Pickett checks down for 3 quarters.
If Shedeur, and this is going, I mean, no disrespect to all you Shedeur lovers.
Oh boy, here it comes.
But if Shedeur Sanders was a bona fide first-round pick,
yes,
there would be nothing that would stop an organization.
That is correct.
You are taking
1,000%. You are correct.
Because I just watched, what's the kid from Marshall?
But there won't be people that won't believe you, but you're right. Now, that being said, not that we want to go down this whole road, I don't think he dropped in the 5th round.
I agree. No, I agree with you.
He didn't get taken.
I agree.
Not getting taken in the 1st round.
Clearly, watching him in practice right now tells you that he.
And the problem is that, do you wear shades and make noises to bring attention to the comet that just landed in your facility? Or do you play it safe? Cleveland is currently embroiled in a quarterback dispute that is being presented as a showcase of their skills. Everyone is waiting and watching. Additionally, Shedeur adds a new chapter to the Browns' greatest what-if in decades each time he touches the ball. At this pace, however, it's a win rather than a what-if. And now here we are. Cleveland's quarterback history is being casually rewritten by Shedeur Sanders, one laser throw at a time, with clipboards strewn about, coaches perspiring, and veterans pacing. The Browns run the risk of burying a generational talent beneath seniority and fear if they make a mistake now. We might see the beginning of something extraordinary though, if they roll the dice, let the child cook, and give him the reins. In any case, one thing is certain. Shedeur is not yet ready for the NFL. Cleveland too. Since the Shedeur concert is just getting started, they'd better be.